So the idea of Samsung killing off the Galaxy Z Flip lineup is back again, and I think we might actually have a real reason to be worried this time. Samsung dropped the very first Galaxy Z Flip all the way back in 2020. Ever since that launch, they have been pretty consistent, giving us a brand new model every single year without fail. Right now, everyone is looking forward to the Galaxy Z Flip 8, which is supposed to come out on July 22. It's expected to launch alongside a whole bunch of other gadgets, including the Galaxy Z Fold 8, the higher-end Z Fold 8 Ultra, and the new Galaxy Watch 9 series. But even with that big launch right around the corner, a growing number of reports are starting to suggest that this upcoming model might actually be the very last chapter for Samsung's clamshell foldables. If you've been keeping up with the news lately, you probably remember hearing a very similar rumor just last month. Back when that first report dropped, pretty much all of us just brushed it off. It just seemed way too hard to believe that Samsung would ever completely abandon one of its most popular and easily recognizable foldable phone lines. But things are starting to look a bit different now, because a completely separate report is coming out and saying the exact same thing. This time, the news is coming from a tipster named Fire Universe over on X. According to them, the Galaxy Z Flip 8 is going to officially be the very last device we ever see in the Flip series. The report claims that Samsung is planning to pull the plug so they can shift a lot more of their focus and resources toward the larger Galaxy Z Fold lineup in the future. If Samsung actually decides to go through with this plan, the Flip would become the second major smartphone family that the company has decided to retire. The first big one was the Galaxy Note series, and honestly, a ton of Samsung fans are still not completely over losing that phone. For years now, the Flip lineup has really been Samsung's go-to option for the everyday consumer who wants a foldable phone. It's much smaller, way more affordable than the giant Fold, and for a lot of regular people, it has been the easiest and most practical entry point into the whole world of foldable tech. Because it fits so well into the mainstream market, it really makes you stop and ask, why on earth would Samsung want to just walk away from it? Well, as of right now, we do not really have a clear or definitive answer to that question. But if these new rumors end up being right, it might just come down to strategy. Samsung might simply feel like there's way more long-term potential in pushing the Fold lineup forward, especially as they look into developing different shapes and form factors down the road. Furthermore, that very same report also mentions that the upcoming Galaxy Z Flip 8 is going to run on Qualcomm's Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 processor. That part of the leak isn't surprising to anyone, because older leaks have already been pointing toward that exact same chip for a while now. We've also heard other rumors saying Samsung might split things up depending on where you live, like some parts of the world would get the Flip with an Exynos 2600 chip inside, while other regions would get the Snapdragon version. So when it comes to what's actually powering the phone, the situation is still a little bit up in the air. But at the end of the day, the massive story here is definitely going to be what's going to happen to the future of the Flip series itself. It's pretty easy to just ignore a single rumor, but when you get two completely separate reports saying the exact same thing a few weeks apart, there's actually a reason to be concerned. Except Fire Universe is just recycling the same news from last time. Anyway, I'm definitely going to keep a very close eye on the situation as it develops, and you can count on me to jump back on here and update you the second we get any more concrete information, so make sure you stay tuned for that. But for the time being, it's still best to take all of this with a pretty big grain of salt, since nothing is official yet. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.